Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it. Hey everybody, it's Femtrooper, and today, you guessed it, we are going to be talking about my favorite 80s movies, which is a very hard thing to do, to actually figure out what, out of the whole decade, which is one of the best for film, is to find a top 20. I was going to do top 20 comedies or top 20 dramas or something like that, but I was able to narrow it down to my top 20 movies. Please keep in mind that this does mean, you know, my favorite movies. There are a lot of amazing films that I have seen that are not on this list. Some are just because I don't rank them as high. Some are just because they're great films, but they're just not a favorite. So if it's not on here, doesn't mean that it's not good. It's just not a favorite of mine. The criteria for this really was, do I love this movie? Do I want to watch it over and over again? And if it's yes, then it's a definite candidate for being in my top 20. You know, if I really want to watch it a ton of times, then it's totally a top 10 candidate. So it really came down to just how much do I love it? So without further ado, let's get this started. And we are going to start with number 10, which is actually the only movie I don't own. I'm going to be holding up a DVD or Blu-ray copy here, but the only one I do not own is Lost in America. And this is a movie that I hear pretty much nobody talk about, but it was a movie my mom really liked, and I remember when DVDs first started coming out, it was one of the first DVDs we ever bought, so she definitely has a copy, which I really want to get my hands on, but it's kind of, for some reason, it's pretty expensive on Amazon, so if I find it at a pawn shop, I'll grab it, but so far don't. It's with Albert Brooks and Julie Haggerty, and it is hilarious. It's, you know, wacky hijinks, but not necessarily, it's not a teen wacky hijinks movie. You know, it's with like a middle-aged couple, and, you know, he loses his job, they decide to go on a road trip, then they lose all their money in Vegas, yada yada yada, some crazy shit happens, and it is so funny. It's my kind of humor. I still quote it to this day. It's just an overall really funny movie, and I highly recommend it because I have a feeling it's one of the movies on this list that's a little bit, you know, more unknown, and I don't feel like everyone has seen it. So a lot of movies on here are really cliche for good reason, but that one, definitely worth watching. Coming in at number 19 is an excellent movie, and that is Stand By Me. This is awesome. This is why I love the decade. It's, you know, four friends going on, I don't want to say an adventure, but it kind of has that vibe. Just bonding, going through stuff. They're really fun kids movies in the 80s in terms of, this one's really serious and has a lot of serious moments, but it just, I don't know, these movies are, this is a particularly good one. It has a lot of famous people in it. I was really excited actually when I got my picture taken with Will Wheaton at the Calgary Expo because he's in this, also Wesley Crusher of course, but Stand By Me is an absolute classic. Richard Dreyfuss is narrating the movie. Just really, really, really good movie, and I know it's pretty cliche, but I really just like it a lot. Number 18 is, oh man, just a lot of memories with this one. And again, I will say, these are generally filled with memories, these movies, from watching them over and over again as a kid or even as an adult, whatever. This is definitely one of them, and it's Little Shop of Horrors. This is so good. Obviously a musical, but tons of people are in this. Steve Martin, Bill Murray, Rick Moranis obviously starring. Just a really cool movie and really bizarre, and I watched this movie as a kid, and there's definitely some things that are maybe not appropriate, but I just loved it. I loved it. Even with my friend, we used to like play Little Shop of Horrors, like Audrey 2 was some imaginary character. I don't know. I used to love the movie. I just love it. I love the songs. I love the concept. I had a Venus flytrap as a kid, probably because of this movie. It's really dorky and silly, but so much fun. I highly recommend this if you haven't seen it. On everything in this list, I think it's another one that's a little bit less common, considering it has a lot of really famous people in this. Some, obviously, like, real classic 80s stars, Like, come on, John Candy, Bill Murray, Steve Martin, Rick Moranis. Like, that's gold. Coming in at number 17 is Die Hard. This is from my Die Hard DVD collection. I'm gonna make people mad, but I don't consider this to be a Christmas movie at all. It doesn't mean I won't watch it at Christmas, but it's just not really Christmas themed, so I feel like you can watch it any time of year. So yeah, whenever you want to watch it is up to you, but this is a badass, one of the best 80s action movies, one of the best action movies of all time. It is so fun. John McClane, everything he says when he's talking, and, you know, no socks, no shoes. It's just classic. It is so good. Alan Rickman is amazing in it too. This is just, I don't know. I love Die Hard a lot. I don't really think there's a ton of action movies on my list here, but this is definitely one of them. Absolutely classic. It's so fun. It's just, I don't know. It's every silly thing from an 80s movie, but in an awesome action way that you want. Number 16 is an early 80s movie, I believe 1980. So we're back to the start of the decade here with one of the best horror movies ever, and that is The Shining with Jack Nicholson. Amazing, really good. I watched this movie as a kid, which is totally inappropriate. Really inappropriate. There's a few things actually on there that I'm like, damn, Mom and Dad, what were you thinking? This is so good though. Again, another Stephen King novel, which apparently Stephen King didn't like this adaptation. I'm really curious about that. But anyway, just amazing. Everything. This is so quotable. It's so suspenseful. It's so dark. It is so creepy. I mean, everything in it. Actually, the thing that got to me the most as a kid, that like freaked the shit out of me, was the lady in the tub. Just, I lost it. That, I don't know, that freaked me out. More than like the blood coming out of the elevator and like the twins and everything. I don't know, that lady in the tub, that scars a child. Actually, and the bunny suit thing freaked the shit out of me. Number 15 is a classic movie, one of John Hughes' best, and you will see more John Hughes on this list. A spoiler, love John Hughes. Anything John Hughes just makes me so happy. I live in a neighborhood with a lot of trees, and I basically say I'm living my John Hughes dream every day. So John Hughes movies. So this one is The Breakfast Club, and it is amazing. You know, it's more serious and less silly, but I feel like it's such an amazing portrayal of high school. Doesn't necessarily apply to today in terms of like so cliche, the jock, you know, the nerd, whatever, but it's just so well done. And I just feel like the concept alone is amazing. Just 5 kids in detention. I feel like that's really smart. Most of the movie is really just dialogue between 5 kids who would never hang out together, and it is just so well done. It has that 80s, you know, teen John Hughes magic. So what is not to like, honestly? Number 14 is another one that I feel like many of you may have not seen, but I just love this movie. That is Throw Mama from the Train. Danny DeVito and Billy Crystal. Oh, so good, so good. This movie is ridiculous. Just a completely goofy movie. Actually, a lot of these are goofy. The 80s was goofy, clearly. But this movie is amazing. I saw it when I was a little kid, and I don't know, it stuck with me a lot. I really still enjoy this to this day. It is so funny, with, you know, they're both basically trying to kill someone for each other. And Billy Crystal is trying to kill Danny DeVito's mom, because she's so horrible, but so funny. Oh man, this is really funny. If you haven't seen this and you're thinking, oh my god, a movie with Billy Crystal and Danny DeVito and I've never seen it, watch this movie. It is hilarious. Coming in at number 13 is a heartwarming movie for me. I definitely cry in it, and I just love it because of, I suppose, the humanization of older people. Older people can be cool too. And that's Cocoon. I have the set with the second one, which is, it's alright. But the first one is so good. This is gold. Again, if you've not seen this is super cool. It's just really great to see all these cool older actors coming together and just being like 20-year-olds. And, you know, there's a lot of very sad, heartwarming moments, and it's it's got everything. It's directed by Ron Howard. It's got a extremely touching score by James Horner. It's got tons and tons of famous older people in it. Steve Guttenberg is in it, who's not an older person then. And just really good stuff. And scary fact for the day that Wilfred Brimley was 51 when this movie came out. How? Number 12 on my list is we've got a wacky hijinks movie, and that movie is Adventures in Babysitting with Elizabeth Shue. This is freaking awesome. I cannot stress it enough. It's on Netflix, so I think you should just watch it there. That's why the copy is not open, but I do own it, and I just freaking love this movie. It is the classic. You are home from school, sick, and you want something funny and awesome, and it is this movie. This is your cure. This is it's what you, it's kind of, I'm almost want to say like a Ferris Bueller's Day Off, when you're like, oh, I wish I could skip school and do all those fun things. Well, it's like, yeah, you wish that your night was this fun if you had like a babysitter come over and you were like 10. So this is amazing. So much fun. Love this movie. It is just, it's wacky hijinks at its best. Coming in at number 11 is, we're close. Tootsie. Oh my god. I was debating on putting this higher on my list, but it just didn't make the cut. But I just love this movie. It is amazing. Dustin Hoffman's one of my favorite actors of all time, and this is just fantastic. I don't know, everything about it. You know, he's Michael Dorsey. He's not getting an acting part, so he becomes Dorothy Michaels, who ends up becoming like the soap star of the year. And he's having to play this woman, and it is so funny. It's amazing. Tons of people in this. Jessica Lange. I think Terry Garr is in it. Yeah, Terry Garr is in it. Dabney Coleman. Bill Murray again. Bill Murray is in Tootsie. Bill Murray's in everything. Bill Murray is a national treasure. Tootsie is amazing. Really good. Really overall fun movie. You will love this. I don't know. I can't say anything bad about Tootsie. It is so good. It's also got a kick-ass score by Dave Grusin, if anyone cares. I just love it. It's that whimsy 80s movie. Instead of the John Williams 80s score, you've got that sort of quirky, kind of like Elmer Bernstein in Ghostbusters. You got that kind of vibe going on. Just overall silly and wacky. Tootsie. We are at the top 10 now, and I'm so excited. So number 10 is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, one of the best holiday movies. Really, the only Thanksgiving movie I watch, really, because there's not that many Thanksgiving movies, unless you're gonna watch like some kind of Charlie Brown special or something. But even then, it's like, you got Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's perfect. I like watching it actually for American Thanksgiving. Canadian Thanksgiving's in October, but we don't do Thanksgiving in November. So that late November Black Friday vibes, I am putting this on. And yeah, John Hughes, classic. Those aren't pillows. It's just so funny. Everything in this, amazing comedy duo with Steve Martin and John Candy is so funny. Everything about it. There's just, the whole movie is fun. Wacky hijinks again. Coming in at number 9 is another holiday movie. Oh, love it. I'm sorry the original didn't make it on my list. But that is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Had to put this on the list because I watch it every year. It's so funny, everything about it, the whole thing. This movie's pretty much why why Mele Kalikimaka is one of my favorite Christmas songs, because I can only think of Chevy Chase looking out the window at the girl in the pool. It's so funny. The whole thing, all of it. It's heartwarming. It's classic. I think the other reason is this movie came out when I was alive, yay. So it makes me nostalgic in terms of, I wasn't young enough to remember, but it, when I see the way houses looked inside and the way people have family coming over, it gets me really nostalgic about that happening with me. I'm a person who grew up going over to my grandma's house and the whole family came over, and it really was kind of like this, or like other cliche Christmas movies where the whole family gets together and has a big dinner and blah blah blah. But that, seeing movies like this, they're great. They bring you back to those memories, and this is definitely one for me. I also have to say that Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character in this is a standout for me. everything in it. And why is the carpet all wet, Todd? Coming in at number 8 is, we haven't seen him on the list yet, and that is Big with Tom Hanks. How could it not be on the list? Again, one of the best movies. So funny. I don't know what else to say about Big. It is just so perfect. It is so classic. It is literally, if this happened to you and you were this age, you were like 11, 12, however old he is. I think he's like 12, 13. And then you all of a sudden became an adult. This is how you would act. This is what you would do. You know, the way he has his apartment, everything. It's so perfect. This was such a really well thought out movie. Again, it's a lot of wacky hijinks things, but it's amazing. Also, his friend in this is totally the kid from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and I love that. Or one of the kids. And yeah, just amazing. It's just a really, really, really good movie. Feel good. I love Tom Hanks. Splash didn't make my cut for top 20, but it was like sitting at like number 25 or something because I freaking love Splash. Those are like my favorite. My favorite for like, and Burbs too. Damn it, there's so many Tom Hanks movies I like. But yeah, Big for sure. So good. The piano scene. What else can I say? It's big, it's awesome, it's amazing. Number 7 is a classic that everybody loves. Who does not love this? Because who are you gonna call? And that is Ghostbusters. So good. I watched this movie when I was a kid and it stuck with me forever, and I remember the opening scene like forever. My dad showed me Ghostbusters when I was a kid, and the opening scene with the librarian, man, that sticks with you when you're a kid. Like, you're like, holy shit. I don't know why. It just really stuck with me. Lines in it, you know, like back off, man, I'm a scientist. Bill Murray, again, Bill Murray is gold. Actually, for me, although Bill Murray is probably my favorite character in the movie, or my favorite in the movie, Rick Moranis is so good. He is such a standout character as Lewis. I just, Sigourney Weaver's amazing too, but Rick Moranis, guys, it's so funny. He's having a great party, eh? Okay, at number 6, we've got a classic John Hughes movie for you, and that is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Of course, of course. I love this movie and watch it at any time. I love it. I love it to bits. It's so perfect. Everything about it, everything they do. Jennifer Grey also is amazing. Just how pissed off she is. And she's my daily hair goals. This hair is obviously for this video, but my hair is generally pretty big. So I was like, how much more big can I get it today? Jennifer Grey's amazing. Matthew Broderick, everybody, the whole thing is amazing. It's just such a good movie. It's exactly what you wanted to do. To this day, this movie that is over 30 years old is exactly what you want to do now. I still want to do this. It's amazing. I don't know. It doesn't get much more classic than this. So coming in at number 5 then is Aliens. Oh, I love Aliens so much. So much. There's so many reasons to love it. You've got a badass action hero who's a woman. So already we've got some cool shit right there. I know we've got Alien, so we'll talk about that in a sec, but she was friggin' badass in Aliens. Sigourney Weaver just kicking ass. I'm a huge Xenomorph fan. As you can see, I just love the Xenomorph. I think the design is beyond amazing. It still holds up. I think it'll hold up in 100 years. It is just a really freaky looking thing, and it looks awesome. It's funny. This movie is funny in an 80s way. You've got like the Bill Paxton character, like, game over, man, game over. It is, it's got a great score by James Horner. It is, you've got tons of action, really cool. It is creepy as shit. It's awesome. I will say that in terms of suspense and originality, that the first one is better for that. I'm not going to argue it. Alien really, really built up the suspense by not showing the Xenomorph. They didn't show it. They would show like a shadow, or you would see its tail, or you would hear it or something. They didn't really show the whole thing till the very end, which I think was a great build up. Everything today is just thrown in your face, and I feel like it's really cool to see a movie really not show you something. It's actually, you don't see that very often anymore. It was really, it's slow paced. It is absolutely shocking. You know, the chest burster scene is iconic. In this, you're not getting the same kind of thing. You've seen it before. You know what the xenomorph looks like. You, instead of having one xenomorph, now you have a shit ton. So when you look at it that way, you know, it loses a little bit on some points there. But in terms of just watchability and my love for it, Aliens definitely wins. I would rather watch Aliens over Alien, just over and over. I just really enjoy this. We used to watch a lot of these, like Alien and Aliens and the other ones, but they are terrible. We used to watch them at my dad's house. We all just got really into it. It was just like a thing. We just loved watching Aliens. And so, yeah. Again, I mean, this is a really classic movie everyone has seen, but it's really good. And it's a lot of fun. So, Aliens, number 5. Coming in at number 4 is another absolutely classic movie. These are tough. I mean, every one of these was tough. It's like, what do I make number 2? What do I make number 4? So please keep that in mind. In a week, I could be like, this should have been number 3. It's really hard. So in order, let's just do this. Number 4, Back to the Future. This is the trilogy on DVD. This is amazing stuff. I keep saying this, but that's because these are all my favorite movies. They're just, Back to the Future is so much fun. The first few notes you hear of that Alan Silvestri score, nostalgic so much. It is just so much fun. Who does not like this movie? I challenge you, if I am talking to someone to this day and they are not, you know, understanding me, or they are not listening to me, hello, McFly. That's literally my go-to, is hello, McFly. It just works so well. Actually, sometimes I say hello, Jafar, but hello, McFly is like the best. Biff, George, the whole thing. It is so good. Marty McFly is classic. Doc Brown, everything. You know, Calvin Klein. It's just so good. It's so good. It is magical. I will say that it is a magical movie, and it's done perfectly. There's nothing wrong about it. It's iconic. We've got a little Huey Lewis in there, which gets me fired up. My husband does not like it when I put Huey Lewis on. I love Back to the Future. Who honestly doesn't? If you don't like Back to the Future, something is wrong with you. Okay, number three is Beetlejuice. Oh my god, so good. I watched this all the time as a kid. I love it. I love everything about it. I even love the cartoon. But this is, to me, the Tim Burton magic I want. I wish that we still got from him. It's so good. Gina Davis, Michael Keaton, Alec Baldwin, Winona Ryder. It's so good. Catherine O'Hara. Oh my god, it's amazing. Danny Elfman's score to this is one of his best. It is a fantastic score. It is just so much fun. I love watching this around Halloween. Every year. It is just fantastic. This is like a movie that brings you iconic characters. Beetlejuice, obviously iconic, but Lydia Dietz is like my goth hero. She is just amazing. The whole thing is just fantastic. Even just the dynamic between Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin, it's so much fun. The weird stop motion animation stuff, like with Catherine O'Hara's figures. I don't know. I can't say anything bad about Beetlejuice. I just love it. It's cheesy, but it's so fun. It is perfect. I just, honestly, this is one of the best ever. So many of these movies I feel like wouldn't get made today because people are so serious and things were a little bit more silly back then, and that is why I love Beetlejuice. Again, this is a movie I watched as a kid all the time. You know, I just remember all of it. every scene brings me back to childhood, and that's why I love it. And the other thing is funny because there's things in this movie that aren't necessarily appropriate, and I feel like if a movie came out like this today, kids wouldn't be watching it, or would they? I don't know what kids do. But in terms of Beetlejuice, all of us kids were watching it, and it is perfect. Okay, these two were hard because it was like, what is number one? What is number two? It's tough. So let's just do this, and I might change my mind in a year. I might change my mind, like, after this movie. Or after this video. I don't know. Honestly, I feel like I'm right with my decision here, but let's just go with it. Number two is E.T. This is amazing. Another movie I cry in at the end. I can't handle it. When he leaves Elliot, I freak out. I like E.T. so much, I named my dog Elliot. That's not 100% reason. We were going to go with Harriet, and then Elliot sounded right. And I also like Scrubs a lot, so I was like, well, she's Elliot, or she's Dr. Reed from Scrubs, so I don't know. But I think the name really did come from E.T., so we'll just go with that. It works. She's an Elliot, but... anyway, the classic bike chase scene at the end, the piece of music that goes along to that, I listen to it and I start crying. So I can't handle, I just love E.T. so much. It is just gold. It is just fantastic. It is Steven Spielberg at his finest. It is the epitome of what being a kid growing up in the 80s and to some degree 90s, because I was a kid in the 90s, felt like. It really is accurate. I just love it. It is sad. It is heartwarming. It's a drama. It's funny. It's just perfect. It's a perfect movie overall. There's nothing wrong. John Williams' score is just nuts. Actually, if you've noticed, a lot of the movies in my top 5 have commented on the score because the scores are so important to me. Actually, with all of these movies, to some degree. Like I said, Elmer Bernstein's score in Ghostbusters, it's so good. It's so perfect for that movie. E.T. is just gold. This is reality, Greg. We have come to number 1, and this video is really long, and I don't do long videos anymore, but I thought maybe you'd bear with me on this because it was a fun top 20 list. And people like lists. I like watching lists of anything, personally, so that's why I like doing these videos. And we have got a movie that I can watch over and over and over and over again. It is a Star Wars movie, so you can at least narrow down which one it is. And it's the first Star Wars movie I ever saw. My dad pulled me out of school. I skipped school to go see this. I don't think I'd ever seen Star Wars before at that point. And yeah, this is not maybe a preferable answer to some, but that is Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. I do have this on Blu-ray. Anthony Daniels signed it. It's in another room, so I just didn't want to pull it out. So I have my DVD copy from my set. Yeah, I can't really say enough about Return of the Jedi. Everything in this movie, the whole thing, the score, come on, well, they're all good. All Star Wars scores are good. They all have moments. It's just so good. Star Wars Return of the Jedi is a movie I can watch over and over, and it is the conclusion to something that is just fantastic. I don't know why I saw this first, but it didn't matter at the time. Everything in it is iconic. It's so good. It's heartwarming. I love the Ewoks. I know that may not be... Whatever. I love the Ewoks. I love the Battle of Endor. The Battle of Endor, I can literally hum, and I know the whole thing. So I did that on a video like 3 years ago and made a fool of myself because I know it, and I know this score so well. It's so good. Jabba's palace scene, the pit of Carkoon, just the whole thing. The whole thing is so good. This is what Star Wars movies are all about. And I guess you can say that with any of them. Empire Strikes Back is great. And A New Hope is great too. But I just love Return of the Jedi. And I know that's... Everyone loves Empire Strikes Back. That's usually everyone's favorite. But for me, it is Return of the Jedi. It is one of the best. Before I go, I just want to say there were no animated movies in my top 20 because I purposely chose to exclude them. Brave Little Toaster would have made the cut for probably top 10 if I did. I love that movie, but I didn't want to include animated movies because I felt they were going to maybe be on a category of their own. That is everything today, guys. I just want to end this video because it's way too long, but I hope you enjoyed my top 20. What are your favorite 80s movies? I could maybe do a honorable mentions video someday. I don't know, but please comment, let me know. Please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and I will see you guys later.